Dekucha Brichu Anavda Anavda Dekucha Brichu Anavda Dekucha Brichu Anavda Anavda Dekucha Brichu Anavda Dekucha Brichu Anavda Dekucha Brichu Anavda Dekucha Brichu Anavda Dekucha Brichu. I am a servant of God. Ana Avda Dekucha Brichu. I want to feel like the essence of me is a servant to Hashem. I want so badly to be able to pass that on to my children as it was passed down to us, and even deeper. Ana Avda Dekucha Brichu Anavda Dekucha Brichu Anavda Dekucha Brichu Anavda Dekucha Brichu Dekucha Brichu Anavda Dekucha Brichu Dekucha Brichu All right, friends. So tonight, this Thursday night's a very, very, very special evening. Be'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach, we're bringing our son into the bris tomorrow on this Ted Zayin Shvat, B'shat Tova Mutzlachat. But it's also my wife's birthday this Shabbos, and this shir is actually sponsored. It's basically in honor of my dear wife, of Bina's birthday, which is on Yud Zayin Shvat. So I wanted to sing one of her favorite songs in honor of her. It's a very deep tefillah, and if you know it, please don't hold back. It's a very, very beautiful, special song by Aviatar Banai. And Hamevin Yavin, why it's so, in my opinion, perfect. Okay. And thank you to the generous special sponsors to make this year that much more meaningful. This is in honor of Bina. סופות מתוכי ומחוץ מוטטו את קירות הבית, ואת מתוכי זרמת מפוזרת, חזרת יפה ושותקת. עוד פעם כשהייתי ילד, היית בתוכי נשברת, פעם שלך, פעם אחרת, על יופייך לזרים מבטא. לא אבקש דבר, את לא צריכה להוכיח לי כלום, הורידי עודד שפתייך, אבק דרכים לחצי מרגלייך. לא אבקש דבר, את לא צריכה להוכיח לי כלום, הורידי עודד שפתייך, אבק דרכים לחצי מרגלייך. היי לי קרובה וזוכרת, היי לי רק לי מיוחדת, היי לי אחות מקודשת, היי יחפה מלוחמת. לא אבקש דבר, את לא צריכה להוכיח לי כלום, הורידי עודד שפתייך, אבק דרכים לחצי מרגלייך. לא אבקש דבר, את לא צריכה להוכיח לי כלום, הורידי עודד שפתייך, אבק דרכים לחצי מרגלייך. מי זאת עולה יפה כלבנה, מי זאת עולה יפה כלבנה. Happy birthday. All right. Thank you, everyone. This is so special. Another Thursday night to sink into Torah, to get ready for Shabbos Kodesh. The Shabbos, literally like no other. I just want to thank everyone again for this outpouring of love and brachas, and so special. This is so special. So thank you all so much. So, what we're going to be singing tonight, Bezrat Hashem, is two very short pieces from the Beit Avraham, the Slonim Rebbe. And in his own beautiful, unique way, the Rebbe brings us Parshat Beshalach, Shabbos Shira, the whole story of Kriyas Yamsuf in his very unique way. Now, when we think about Parshat Beshalach, generally speaking, what stands out is the nes, is the incredible miracle. That generally is what stands out when we think about Parshat Beshalach. We think about this, beyond this world moment where such an amazing moment in life that even the Chazal explained to us that even the smallest of people, in terms of spiritually speaking, were able to see visions that even the prophet Yechezkel couldn't see. And the Midrashim are filled with not just the miracle of the sea splitting, but a bunch of sub-miracles, but a bunch of other mini miracles. 12 tunnels were formed. It wasn't just one tunnel. Each person knew exactly to what shevet he belonged. Children, Nebuch, the babies that were thrown into the Nile years before, the Yalkut Shimoni says they were learning the whole time underwater with Malachim, only to rejoin Am Yisrael as they crossed the Yam Suf. So there were so many different layers of nisim, of miracles. But there's a key pasuk right before it all begins that I think will help us prepare for the greatest miracle of all, which will be the Geula Shlema V'Amitid B'Mira B'Yameinu Amen. And we're going to go straight to it. I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to show you this amazing piece, as you could see over here. Ma titzak elai daber b'nei Yisrael v'Yisrael. The Rebbeinu Shalom was telling Moshe Rabbeinu, what are you screaming at me for? What do you want me right now? Talk to Am Yisrael, talk to Yidden, and go v'Yisrael. And this is a key moment. This is okay, where do we go? The Midrash says, behind us were Egyptians, and from the sides we were surrounded by those dangerous animals. What were we to do? And there are a lot of teachings about this moment of, is this a moment to daven? Is this a moment of action? So we have to see something, the balance between the two. Where does Mahishtadlu start or end? But look at how he quotes here the Reb Mendel Vitebsker. This is beautiful. Ma titzak elai daber el bnei Yisrael v'Yisau. B'shem Harav HaKadosh, Harav Menachem Mendel mi-Vitebsk. Zchus yagen aleinu. So what did Reb Mendel Vitebsker say? Third line. B'yitzias Mitzrayim haya isarusa dile'ela. Shenigla alehem melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I want you to remember these three letters, the Rashi Tevis over here. It shows up in a number of Hasidic Sfarim. This is generally speaking, unless it's something that it could be something that is very rare, but generally speaking, it stands for Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. God revealed himself in such a way, like we say, Uvemora Gadol Gilui Shechina. When we left Egypt that night of Yetzias Mitzrayim, there was such a revelation. There was no concealment. The Aruta, the awakening, was the La'ela. We didn't necessarily do anything to bring about the awakening. In fact, we were just about to completely vanish into this world of Tumah. So what happens, Leil Seder, what we experience, what we speak about regarding Yetziat Mitzrayim, it's not something that I necessarily did, or that you did, or that our parents, our grandparents did. There was an awakening that came from above. B'yitziat Mitzrayim ha'ay itaruta dila'ela, shenigla le'em melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seder. That was first night of Pesach. But Parshat Beshalach is Shvi shel Pesach. Nachon? Ach ksheba'u lehayam, but when they reached the waters, az Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then God said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Daber b'nei Yisrael v'Yisau. Okay, speak to Yidden, and tell them now they have to drive, they have to ride, they gotta go, they gotta move forward. Hainu, shi'asu mitzidam asiyah. Now, the way it works, the Rebbeinu Shalom is saying, is now you guys have to do some kind of an action. Beit aruta diletata, through an awakening of below. Now it's you. It's not me just pulling these miracles and completely blowing your minds. Of course I could, Rebbeinu Shalom is saying, but that wouldn't mean anything. Like I could schlep you like this your whole lives. There wouldn't be a point to even bring you to this world if all that it came down to was just a bunch of itaruta dile'elas. Lekabel alem mesirus nefesh bafoal. This is what it is. This was the moment where Am Yisrael were to take upon themselves, in actuality, not just theoretically, but literally, mesirat nefesh. So I want us to just to go as much as we possibly can to visualize what it's like. I'm a Yid. I'm standing by the seashore. I see that I have enemies, mamish on my tail. These same enemies were enslaving me for hundreds of years. Some of them took my nephews and my cousins and threw them into water or used them as bricks into walls. They're coming after me right now. But the Ribono Shel Olam revealed himself completely 7 days ago in such a way where it was clear to me he's taking care of me. So why shouldn't I expect the same? And that's why I feel it's very important to not, God forbid, have a taina on Yidden, that they were just waiting around, sitting around, waiting for miracles. You have to understand, they didn't know any other way. What did they know? This is how they knew. This is how they knew that life is. This is, the little that they were experiencing about Yiddishkeit. It's like, what did they actually know about everything? They knew very, very, very little. And that's why over here, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu was saying, tell them, Moshe Rabbeinu, to keep on going, it wasn't ridiculing. It's like, what do you want from me? Tell them to go. It was saying, no. The beauty here is that I started the Geschäft on Seder night. But now the beauty is going to be, and it's going to be mashed in a picture, that I need you to have mesiras nefesh. That is how things will work here. That is how we'll form the dance. That is how we will form this relationship as we're walking towards Mount Sinai. Why? Why does God need anything? God doesn't need anything. Does God want things? We know there's something that's called the Ratzon Hashem. But needing? No, God doesn't need anything. But look how he explains it here, the Beit Avraham. Ki lo tamid zochim lechesed chinam. Because the general principle in life is that you don't always merit to receive what's called chesed chinam, meaning a treasury of unearned gifts. Yetzias Mitzrayim, the beginning of Exodus, no one could say, listen, because I'm such a tzaddik, that I don't have to do anything and God will just take care of business for me. It doesn't always work like that. And there's no point to that. Like we said before, if my life was going to be a life that's just one big chesed chinam, free for all, what am I busy doing here? Hashem Yisbarach is saying to us something so crucial. Right before Kriyas Yamsuf, he says, look, I could continue doing this always. But really, it won't matter to you, it won't matter to me, and it won't change the world. You know what's going to change the world? Not just me making miracles, but Yidden choosing to have mesiras nefesh. That's going to change the world. V'chein asu, the Rebbe says. V'halchu be'emuna u'mesiras nefesh. And they went with emuna and this mesiras nefesh. Ki Nachshon kafatz letoch hayam. Remember, Nachshon ben Aminadav was the one that jumped into the water. Ad shetza'ak, and the water kept on coming up higher and higher. It's not that he jumped into the water and then the sea split. Is that he jumped into the water. Ad shetza'ak hoshi'eni Elokim kivau mayim ad nafesh. Please God, save me. And in Hebrew took this concept, this phrase, Baal mayim ad nafesh means I had enough. Baal mayim ad nafesh is a phrase you use when you said I had it until here. But Baal mayim ad nafesh means water came till like probably here, like where my nefesh can breathe through. Ve'az, and only then, zachu lekriyas yamsuf. Very differently, in contrast to the way that it worked with Yetzias Mitzrayim, where I didn't have to do anything for dam. What did I have to do? What did Moshe have to do? But we didn't really have to do anything. But it's almost as if, as high and as beautiful as the Eser Makot were, and Parshias Va'era and Bo really were, Beshalach is basically this, like, I feel like it's the beginning of the Hitgashmut HaNevuah, Ko Amar Hashem, Zacharti la chesed neuraich, avat klulutaich, lech tech acharai b'midbar be'eretz lo zruah. We walked with God. We said, we're going to do something also. We're going to linsua. We're going to move forward. We're going to do something. We were slaves a second ago. But the first sign of freedom is that yesterday has no dominion over me. So I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to take upon myself mesirat nefesh. Now, this is something very, very important. I heard in the name of Abalei Kabbalah that you all know that we're all here to try to do something. We have to do a certain fixing in this world. That's what we're sent down here for. The inyan is that we never really know what is that exact mitzvah or that exact ma'aseh we have to do. But the Kabbalists say, generally speaking, each person has to be willing to die al kiddush Hashem. You have to be willing to have mesirat nefesh to even give your life for God once in the Gilgul. And if you don't, you have to keep on coming back down to this world. Hashem has to keep on coming down back to this world for a tikkun. Now, I'm going to be, as I try to be with you, brutally honest, I don't really understand lemaise, what that means. The way that I learned it is that it doesn't mean you, God forbid, have to look for situations. Where could I give my soul? Like, where could I implement my mesirat nefesh so much so that I'm willing to jump off a bridge for God or something, or whatever, however you want to understand it. What it means is that you have to be willing in your heart to reach a place where you would say, for this, I would mamish give my life, Ribono Shel Olam. When you look at the Parsha of the Akedah, of the binding of Isaac on the altar, Avraham Avinu, in retrospect, looks back at the story and he realizes that Hashem never told him to shecht Yitzchak. Hashem told him, place him on the altar. Because Hashem wanted to see, are you willing to have the mesirat nefesh? Not, are you going to go and do it, but are you willing to go there? Which brings it, such a beautiful place today. What's Kriyas Yamsuf in today's day and age? What is it? God has made many, many miracles in our lives. He plucked us out of here, chesed chinam. He plucked us out of there. He did that for us. He did all these things that I can't say that I actually did anything. A lot of itaruta dile'elas. But for an itaruta dilatata, but for this next level in the relationship with God, now it's, what's our Kriyat Yamsuf? How does it manifest today? Well, the question is, what is it that I am fully willing to give my life for? Not that I need to do it, but that in my heart I know, for this I would. And it seems to me, and this is just my sense, I can't explain this, that it all has to do with Eretz Yisrael. Now, God forbid, don't get me wrong. And please don't get me wrong. I'm going to try to make it as clear as possible. We are not saying to go and see over what you can give your life when it comes to claiming parts of the land. This is the era where we're trying to re-emphasize a key basic yesod principle in Yiddishkeit of taking care of your life and your health, which is what we're so busy with these days. That's kindergarten to understand it the other way. I'm talking about bipnimius. When it comes to giving over the Torah of Eretz Yisrael to the world, are we willing to mamish give our lives over for the sake of bringing Jews home, or for the sake of reminding Yidden that Eretz Yisrael is home? That's one area that I see the concept of itaruta dilatata showing up all the time. Can Hashem bring Mashiach right now? Can Hashem make all our enemies go away and bring everyone home? Al Kanfei Nisham? Of course. But Ribono Shel Olam is screaming, Ma titzak elai, daber bnei Yisrael ve'yisau. Talk to Yidden, tell them to come. Tell them to go. Tell them to stop waiting. I could do miracles. I could continue to bring them down like mad, Ribono Shel Olam say, but for what? Who gets anything like that? Lemaisa, right? So one area is having mesirat nefesh for Eretz Yisrael. Another level of mesirat nefesh to take on today, Nachshon ben Aminadav style, would be, and Chaim David has a beautiful track, a song with these words, jump into the sea of Torah. Oh, to learn, to have mesirat nefesh for learning. That I know that no matter what, I moser my nefesh, I give myself over to make sure that the little bit of Torah I take upon myself to learn, I will not give it up no matter what. So having mesirat nefesh for Talmud Torah is a really, really big thing. And I'm very excited to let you know now, something that I was going to wait a few more days to let you know, but it has to do with the topic at hand. Mark your calendars. February 7th, Sunday night, we're going to be blessed to have a Q&A session with the tremendous Gadol, Reb Usher Weiss Shlita, February 7th, regarding the centrality of the Simcha and the Tanug of Talmud Torah in today's day and age. I'm very, very excited about it. That's what Reb Usher Weiss, February 7th. So I have to have mesirat nefesh. Like people could say, well, God, what do you want? What do you want from me? And Rebbe Shalom was saying, I gave myself ana nafshi ksavis yahavis. I put myself into the Torah. Go and take advantage of it. Having the mesirat nefesh for learning. That's two. But obviously, the more we watch the news and the more even that we're getting closer, Erev Geula, do I have mesirat nefesh for Ahavas Yisrael? Mesirat nefesh for it. Nachshon ben Aminadov style. I have to jump into the sea of loving Yidden with zero conditions, but on the level of mamish giving my life for it. I think it was the tzaddik, the Apter Rebbe, that said when he goes to Shamayim, they might ask him, did you learn? And I said, yeah, I learned. I could have learned more. Did you daven? I davened. I could have davened better. I davened, but I could have davened better. Did you love Yidden? That I did. And that's why on his tombstone it says, Pon Nitman Ohev Yisrael. Named the Sefer, right? Ohev Yisrael. Here lies the Ohev Yisrael. So these three concepts of having mesirat nefesh for Eretz Yisrael, having mesirat nefesh for Ahavas Yisrael, and for Talmud Torah, it seems that it could be this is really a very powerful way of attaching ourselves to this vort that brought down the name of the Vitebska, that the Beis Avraham brings down. Matitzak elai daber bnei Yisrael v'yisau. It's your time to shine. It's your turn to create a modern day Shvi Shel Pesach. It's your turn for it. So, my dearest friends, I give us a bracha, and please give me a bracha back. Please, please, please. You know, the Beis Avraham says in another piece, he says, you know, Matitzak elai, he says, the distance between ratzon and actions and actually doing something is a very, very long distance. Very long distance between having a desire to do something, I want to love Yidden, I want to learn, till I do it, wow. It takes forever sometimes. Sometimes it takes years and years and years to formulate a manner in which the mesirat nefesh that I long for can take place. But when there's an eis ratzon, there are moments where the gates are open. So then at that moment you have to ask from Hashem, not that things should be good, but that Ribono Shel Olam, please take my ratzon and put it into action. And he says that that's what it means. Vanis filosi lecha Hashem eis ratzon. My prayer to you, Hashem, during a time of eis ratzon, aneni be'emes. He says an amazing thing. Answer me with emes. He says, what's with emes? Emes. He says, emes is Rashi Tevos ma titzak elai. Answer me with the same way that you answered Yidden at Kriyas Yamsuf when they were waiting for the Yeshua. You said, ma titzak elai. When a Yid hears you say, Ribono Shel Olam, what are you screaming at me for? I trust you can do this. Daber bnei Yisrael v'yisau. At that moment, we merit to reveal our ratzon that we have in action. So there are many different eis ratzons in the world. I want to invite you all to an eis ratzon tomorrow. We'll be sending out the Zoom link for our son's bris, which is a very big eis ratzon. I wish we could have the whole world here. And at a certain level, we will be, by just our immediate family. But, you know, the gates at every bris, Eliyahu is there. And I believe so strongly what a beautiful, wonderful, blissful thing it would be in the merit of our son, that we scream during that eighth ratzon, Ribono Shel Olam, take my ratzon and put it into action. And hopefully we'll all get so much koach to go and jump inside into our own little Nachshon ben Aminadov energies, and hopefully have everyone follow with us. Please, God. Let's sing one more nigun. Mazel tov, everyone. Good Shabbos. Happy birthday. A good everything. Mazel tov.